Hello Year 5s and welcome to Friday's revision math session, and today we are going to be looking at our 11 and 12 times tables. So get ready, you'll need a pencil and paper, and we are going to see what you can remember about your times tables. So could you answer questions 1, 2 and 3 on a piece of paper, and you will need to pause the video now. Let's go through the answers. So remember, when you multiply by 2, that's the same as doubling. So 2 times 6 would be 12, and we've got 2 times 7 is 14, 2 multiplied by 8 is 16, and 2 multiplied by 9 is 18. Complete the number track. Now, what do you notice about the numbers as they go up the track? That's right, they go up in tens, don't they? So your number track should look a little bit like this. What happens when I add 10 more to 100? That becomes 110, doesn't it? Okay, let's see how you got on with these additions. So I could use my place value additions here because I've got nothing in the ones column, haven't I? So I could have just added on the ones without having to do too much work. Okay, let's have a look at this question here. There are 11 players in a football team. How many players are in 4 teams? So if we think back to the arrays that we've been looking at this week, in one row I have 11 people because I've got 11 players in a football team. Imagine that there are 4 teams then. That would be the same as 11 plus 11 plus 11 plus 11, which would be the same as 4 tens there, and that would give me 4 ones, so that would be the same as 44. I could also write it as a multiplication. How could you write that as a multiplication? Have a think and write that down on your piece of paper. That's right, I've got 4 teams of 11 people, so that would give me 44. Or I could write 11 players in 4 teams is the same as 44 players or people. How many players are there in 5 teams then? Write it down on a piece of paper. If I've got 11 players in a football team and I've got 5 teams, that would be the same as 50 tens and 5 ones, which is the same as 5 multiplied by 11, which is 55. Or 11 multiplied by 5, which is 55 players. So 5 times 12, if I was to add on one more there, one more row, that would be the same as 10 multiplied by 5 plus 2 multiplied by 5, because I've got 2 rows of 5, which would give me 60, which is the same as 55 plus 5, which is the same as 11 multiplied by 5 plus 1 5. So 6 times 12 then, I've got my one row of tens, and I've got 6 tens in there, haven't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I've got 2 rows of 6 ones because I've partitioned 12. So I've got 1 10 and 2 lots of ones there. And I've got that 6 times. So that's the same as 10 multiplied by 6 is 60, and plus 2 lots of 6, because I've got my 2 rows of 6 there, which is equal to 12. So 60 plus 12 is 72. I could write it like this as well. 6 multiplied by 12 is 72, and 12 multiplied by 6 is 72. What multiplications are represented by this array? So think about the number of rows that you have got and the number of dots in each row. So that's right, we've got 7 dots in each row and a total number of 11 rows. So 7 multiplied by 11 is 77, and 11 multiplied by 7 is 77. And we've got, so that would also be the same as 1 lot of 10 and 1 at the end, because we've got 11 in each row, haven't we? You could write it like that. which would be 7 times 10, which is 70, plus the 1 times 7, which is 7. How would the model change for 8 multiplied by 11? So think about how you would group the 10 and the 1, just like it is at the top here on this diagram. And what would be going down the side? So instead of 7, what would you have? So that would just change to 8, wouldn't it? You just imagine another layer of 11s. And that would be equal to 80, because 8 times 10 is 80, plus the 8 multiplied by 1, don't forget that because that's important, and that would give you 8 multiplied by 11 is 88. So how would the model change for 8 multiplied by 12 then? So think about where your 10 and your 1 is, and how that might change if you had 8 multiplied by 12. So that's right, instead of 1 extra row, you would then have 2 extra rows, wouldn't you? Because 10 plus 2 is equal to 12, which is the same as if I've got my 8 on the side there, 8 multiplied by 12. So I know that 8 multiplied by 10 is 80, so then if I was to then multiply my 8 by 2, that would give me 16. So 8 multiplied by 12, if I add my 80 and my 16 together, that would give me 96. So have a go at the questions 1 to 4 on the worksheet and see how you get on. Okay, lovely. Now we're going to have a look at dividing. So a box holds a dozen eggs. How many boxes are needed for 24 eggs? So a dozen is the same as 12. So if I've got one box holding a dozen eggs, that's which is equal to 12. How many boxes then would I need for 24 eggs? Put one box in there, which has got the 12 eggs in, and I would need another box, wouldn't I? So I've got my 2 lots of boxes there, my 2 lots of eggs. So that would be the same as 24 divided by 12 is equal to 2. 24, and I put 12 eggs in each box is equal to 2. I would need 2 boxes for that. If there are 24 eggs, and it's represented in this way, and they are put into a dozen boxes, they're put into 12 boxes, how many eggs will I need in each box? So let's have a look. We'll start putting those in there. So I've got 1 egg in each box, and I've got 12 boxes. And then I'll put another lot of eggs in there. So you can see now that I've got a total of 2 eggs in each box. So 24 divided by 12 is equal to 2. So there are 2 eggs in each box. So when you are grouping, that's when we are deciding, we're putting the eggs into groups, if you like. We're saying how many boxes are needed for 24 eggs. We have our total already, and we're putting them into different groups. We're putting them into the boxes. When you are sharing, you have your eggs and you already have your number of boxes. So we know how many boxes we have, but we are sharing the eggs out into the different boxes. So 24 divided by 12 is 2, and then we've got 24 divided by 12 is 2 also. But in the top case, we're talking about 2, but there are 2 boxes, and in the bottom case, we're talking about the eggs, aren't we? There are 2 eggs in each box. Think of a 2-digit number, such as 24, and reverse the digits to create a new 2-digit number. So that means swap them round. In this case, I've made 42. Find the sum of your 2 numbers. Remember, when you find the sum of something, you add them together. So 24 plus 42 is the same as 66, isn't it? So can you try with some other examples, and what do you notice? Why do you think this might happen? So I've got 24 plus 42, that's the same as 66, 33 and 88, 110, 132. They're all divisible by 11. So you'll notice that all the numbers are divisible by 11 if you was to try that with some other different numbers. Okay, and you can see there that they're divisible by 11. They've been grouped there into 11s, haven't they? And I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups of 11. So you are going to have a go, Year 5s, at the rest of the worksheet and see how you get on.